describe, in your words, kind of describe this unit as a whole.
I don't know. That's kind of like a question mark, right? I mean, when I got here, I've seen the growth. I've seen them take huge strides, but uncertainty of what they're going to do on game days is still, I think all the coaches, we don't really know. The anxiety of really seeing, did I do enough? Did I prepare these guys enough for them to play out when it matters the most? So I'm excited about the opportunity. I think we took strides in the right direction, and thus far, everybody total as a group overall, we made some plays. So it's just a matter of being consistent, doing it and making the routine plays. I told the guys that Wyoming's not going to beat themselves. We got to go out and make the routine plays consistently. And if we do that, we give ourselves an opportunity to win this game.
Was there anything specific when you came in the spring you said, I need to teach them this, and do you feel like they've gotten it by now?
I need to teach them a lot. And that's my biggest worry is, being that I got here so late, and not having as much time as I would like to have with them. I just don't want them when the game's on the line that they revert back to their old habits. That's something that I'm trying to break the mold. Being in the short time that I've been here, just staying on their butts each and every day or preaching about consistency and what I want. Sometimes, but you always worry. Like I said, I wish I had a whole year with these guys, because then I can probably break those bad habits that they have. But I just know when you get tired, you get fatigued, you really got to lean on your technique and fundamentals in order to overcome that. And sometimes when you get tired and you can't go no more, you kind of revert back to what's normal, what you're always doing. And that's something I'm trying to break the mold and break that tendency with these guys. So it's just a matter of this, when I see it, recognizing it, being able to pull them out the game so they can stay fresh and making sure that they're not going out there and putting bad plays on tape.
To follow up from that, do you feel like you've seen those bad habits kind of revert back to during any scrimmages and during fall camp or any times of the space adversity?
It's hard to break bad habits. Just imagine being a golfer. You just picked up the clubs and golfing, and then now you try to get instruction from a golf instructor. It's hard to break those habits. So those guys are, so far so good. It's just about ingraining in them each and every day. So every day you see us doing releases. I want them to, that's got to become second nature to us, getting off the ball versus man-to-man. But, when they get fatigued, you do see them revert back to some of the things that I was like, well, I didn't coach that. So you relied on you went back to your old ways, and we got to knock that bad habit. But you're just staying on top of those guys. Are we going to play a perfect game? No, but I just want for us to just make routine plays consistent.
Heading into the first game, do you feel like you guys have kind of prepared in the way that you wanted them to? Do you feel like the guys are, in a sense?
It's never enough. Especially with my standards. It's kind of like, did I do enough? I don't think it's ever going to be enough for me, because I'm never content. I always want the best for these guys, because that's how I was as a player. So to sit there and say, are they prepared? I think so. I know I put in everything into it. I felt like this week we had a great week of preparation, continue to grow. We still got a couple of days before game days, but you just never know. You never know when the lights turn on, and that's something that I haven't been around these guys to experience that. So it's going to be a first time for me. Now I just want to make sure I do all I can to put them in position to make plays.
In your opinion, how do the individual skill sets that maybe you have a quick slot receiver in Melquan Stovall, you have a big outside receiver in Malik McClain, how do those talents mesh together to create this unit?
Well, we got to create some packages. Our job as coaches is to put these guys in the best position so they can make plays. If that's by different personnel packaging, play calling, play concepts. We got concepts that I think. We're not going to ask a player to do something that he's not very good at. So picking different personnel packaging and putting guys in certain spots so they can succeed. That's really what our job is, and that's what we've done all week so far.
And who's somebody that really stood out to you in your process that you've been here, and kind of maybe being a leader of the group, either by example or vocally?
Melquan's kind of our leader of our group. Just a steady guy, reliable. Anytime you call his number, he just makes plays. We got some explosive guys on the outside. JT is going to be his coming out year. You know, I think he's going to have a great year. A lot of people he's under the radar, but he's had a phenomenal camp. But overall, the leader of the group is Melquan. I mean, he just consistently shows up. He's always on time, always preaching to the guys. So I just love his mindset and who he is as a person as well as a football player.
And how excited are you to finally see them, you know, game week against Wyoming?
I'm
what is that
excited.
feeling going to be like
Man,
Saturday?
It's going to be anxiety's already hit me. I want to see what it's like running out to the stadium, you know, in front of our Sun Devil family and crowd. It's going to be, you know, it's always the first weekend of football too. It's kickoff, so just the players, I know they're excited. They're tired of going up against the same guys, you know, going up against some fresh meat. You know, but Wyoming, they're not going to beat themselves. Solid team, won 9 games last year, so we got to bring our A game. You know, we got to come out and play. We're not good enough to think that we just go show up and win games. You know, we got to put in the preparation. We got to put in the work, put in the time now, and that's what these guys are committing to. So I'm always on them. Just commit. Just stay inside. Do your homework. Let's get in the film room and just test ourselves and just, you know, let's see where it takes us. We just commit and sacrifice a little bit, see if it pays off for us.
So
What kind of
going into Wyoming, you know, their defensive backfield has shown that they're really tough and they can come downhill and make plays and make tackles. How much of the run blocking and, you know, blocking in general have you kind of emphasized to these guys in preparation for the game?
That's who I am as a person. It's not just about catching balls. It's about being a complete wide receiver. I mean, you got a running back like Scat. We need to sit there and make sure we get a hat on the hat. So, point of emphasis, we know they have some safeties as 5th, 6-year seniors that's been there for a long time, veteran group of guys. They're not going to beat themselves. They're going to always be in the right spot. So it's our job to make sure that we get a hat on the hat in the run game. And I think thus far, we've shown that. You know, we've kind of got into some dog fights out there, and but the guys are going to do whatever. You know, each and every week I tell them, man, you got to use your game film as your resume. With all these scouts coming out here, I know what the NFL is looking for. So, you know, I coach it the same way. It's not just about catching footballs, but it's also about making plays in the run game and helping your team, helping Scat get some extra yards and big plays. All big plays in the run game, normally it comes off from receivers blocking downfield. And I want to be a part of that.
Are there any lessons you learned from your time as a player when it comes to like handling nerves or dealing with that opening game week of a season that you'll be able to like pass on to your guys before Saturday?
Yeah, you know, just you gotta have a lot of patience. You know, I think some of the young kids, they want success so fast. You know, they don't want to go through the process. They want to go from A to Z without going through all the other letters. You know, they just they want it so bad. But it's a process. You just have to understand, and you know, it's not just about thinking you're going to show up and just execute and ball out on Saturdays, but it's a process of putting in the time, understanding the playbook, putting in some extra work, taking care of your body during the week, getting some extra reps outside of practice, and then, you know, by that, you know, putting it all together, hopefully you give yourself every opportunity to have success on the weekend. So for me, just, you know, I'm excited that football is back. I think all the fans are excited to run out on this field with the guys, and looking forward to watching them compete. I'm looking forward to that. So we'll see what happens.
Speaking of the young kids, how do you feel like Sample has done over the course of camp and having him in terms
his
of
speed,
adjusting?
man. I love his energy. I love his juice. Of course, he got speed, but you know, just like all rookies anywhere, I call them a bunch of 1 gig dudes, right? So you put 5 gigs of information in them, their computer runs a little slow. But talent is there. It's just a matter of getting them in the playbook and understanding it. Being that he, you know, enrolled later, kind of put him behind the 8 ball as far as learning the whole plays, because it's so much volume of plays that he's not used to. But the talent's there. It's just a matter of just developing him, bringing him along, getting them acclimated to our playbook, and so he's doing less thinking and more reacting.
And on the other end of the experience, like spectrum, with Jake Smith being able to finally play again after a couple years of not being able to play.
Yeah, Jake, man, a newfound love for the game, man. I mean, each and every day he comes with purpose. You're starting to see him smile a little more, enjoying the game. I look for him. He's going to make a play for us, man. He's an explosive playmaker. You just got to put the ball in his hands and watch him go. So, you know, but as far as learning the game, having appreciation for the game, he's going to have a phenomenal senior year, man. I'm excited to see his play. Good.